Several bronze-armored zombies around them roared from time to time, but without the command of the zombie king, they obviously didn't know what to do. The white-haired monkey had fear in his eyes and kept making strange noises in his throat. Junwoo pointed his gun at the white-haired monkey's head and said coldly, "Let them kill each other." A hint of hatred flashed in the white-haired monkey's eyes, but the cry suddenly became louder. The next moment, the 6 bronze-armored corpses next to them roared and rushed toward the few people. The white-haired monkey had realized that he could not survive, and even if he fell into the hands of the person in front of him, he would definitely suffer torture. So he chose to die together. But in the face of absolute strength, this struggle was useless. Bailey Changqing spit, holding the knight's spear in his hand and exerting force suddenly. He laughed loudly, and a black light emerged from his body, covering his whole body. Then he rushed towards the 6 bronze-armored corpses alone, like a god of war. The huge knight's spear swept out, and it fiercely cut the 6 bronze-armored corpses in half in an instant. With just one blow, they were wiped out by Bailey Changqing. Green blood and red bones flew everywhere. This is the strength of the deputy captain of the investigation team, Iron Fist Bailey Changqing. But there are not only 3 bronze-armored corpses here, there are bursts of zombie roars from the tunnel from a distance, and the zombie tide has also been summoned by the zombie king. You are not honest. Junwoo looked at the white-haired monkey coldly under the muzzle of the gun. He knew that this thing would not be able to stay alive. If it is not killed, everyone will be surrounded by the zombie army that is driven back. No one knows how many zombies are still underground, and Junwoo dare not take risks. So he pulled the trigger decisively and shot directly through the head of the white-haired monkey. Its body is similar to that of ordinary humans, and there is nothing special about it. This shot made a huge hole appear directly in the back of its head. Meng Siyu took out a body bag from his backpack and put the white-haired monkey away. Everyone quickly left the subway and returned to the ground through the nearest subway exit. After coming to the ground, they saw an extremely incredible scene. On the vast snowfield, tens of thousands of zombies came from all over the place. But at this time, they looked in the direction of the subway. Standing blankly on the snowfield, their movements were very dazed and stiff, and they lost their target. Junwoo said, "Without the control of the zombie king, these ordinary zombies will not take collective actions." Meng Siyu also said, "In this way, even if there are more of them, they will hardly pose a threat to large human forces." A zombie nearby discovered their existence. A red light appeared in its eyes, and then it roared and ran towards them. Junwoo said, "Let's go, don't get entangled with these things. They will disappear on their own in a short time." Junwoo and his men were not interested in cleaning up the corpses here, so they quickly left. They returned to the place where they parked the car before. There are also a large number of zombies gathered here, but they obviously have no interest in iron lumps like cars. After Junwoo and his men cleaned up a group of zombies, they took the captured white-haired monkey body into the car and drove away. The next thing to do is to dissect the body of the white-haired monkey and analyze its biological structure, and try to get the secrets of the corpse group from it, as well as the method of eliminating the zombie virus. At least so far, they can be sure of one thing, that there are many such things in the whole Tianhai city. Only by figuring out its origin can the problem be solved from the root. In the car, Meng Siyu put on a white protective suit and dissected a white-haired monkey on an operating table. Everyone was waiting for her research results. When the sky in the east turned pale the next day, Meng Siyu slowly took off her white gloves. The RV was not large, and everyone took turns to rest, and each person rested for less than 5 hours. Seeing that Meng Siyu had finished the dissection, everyone was waiting for her to give a conclusion. Meng Siyu looked at the captain Junwoo. She said, "The analysis results are out. This is not a monkey or an ape, it's a human." Or it used to be a human. Meng Siyu's words surprised everyone, but it was unexpected, but also reasonable. Mutated creatures, people, and corpses are not rare in today's world. Meng Siyu continued, "It contains a large amount of zombie virus in its body. This virus has obvious biological community habits. The Corpse King can infect other corpses with the virus, turning them into zombies. Then the mother body and ordinary zombies are connected in some way. Let it command the zombie tide. This method is very simple, and the information factors that can be transmitted are also very few. Because of this, the fighting methods initially displayed by the zombie group are relatively dull. But the Corpse King itself has wisdom, and its brain remains intact. Therefore, it is not as difficult to kill as ordinary zombies, but like a normal person, as long as its brain is killed, it will die. Bailey Changqing sat in the chair and couldn't help saying, "It sounds no different from humans." Qi Guangming said in a deep voice, "In this case, it means that as long as we kill all the Corpse Kings in Tianhai City, we can solve this zombie crisis, right?" Meng Siyu nodded approvingly. "In theory, that's right. Without the zombie king leading the group, no matter how large the number is, it will not be a big threat. This is a world where mutants exist. If these zombies are not commanded by the zombie king, any human force can completely eliminate them as long as they spend a certain amount of time and resources." Bian Junwu pushed his frog-shaped glasses. After listening to Meng Siyu's words, he carefully analyzed it in his mind for a long time. But there is still a question that has not been figured out. If there is more than one zombie king in Tianhai City, then where did the first zombie king come from? The zombie king is a mutant from a human or a human corpse. How did the first one get infected with the zombie virus? Everyone turned their eyes to the virus expert Meng Siyu. She shook her head. It's hard to find out. After all, the scale of the zombie swarm is too large. In addition, the conditions are limited, so it's very difficult to trace the source. It's possible that the zombie king is just a type of zombie swarm. Like ordinary zombies and bronze-armored zombies, they were created by the original zombie king. And the purpose of its existence is just to command other zombie swarms. Bian Junwu's face was still as cold as pig iron. Bailey Changqing smiled and said beside him, "We will be busy next, but at least we know a good news, that is, after destroying the zombie king, the problem of the zombie swarm will be easy to solve, right? This mission doesn't seem to be as troublesome as imagined. They are just a little more in number." Wu Di covered his forehead. "So many zombies, how long will it take to kill them? If I can gather them together, I can kill them all with a floating cannon." Everyone couldn't help laughing. How can it be that simple? If it was that easy, the headquarters wouldn't have to send us here. At this time, Bian Junwu, who had been thinking, suddenly said, "It's really a good idea to gather them together and destroy them in one fell swoop." Everyone couldn't help but be stunned when they heard it. Udi blinked his eyes and smiled happily. "Boss, you really know me. This idea is great, right?" Bailey Changqing frowned slightly. "But how to do it? The distribution of zombies is scattered all over Tianhai City." Kong Sheng said, "And if they are all gathered together, it will be difficult to deal with the terrible number." Bian Junwu crossed his arms, his expression like ice that had not melted for thousands of years. He said in a calm tone, "The actions of the zombies are purposeful, that is, to attack the 5 major forces in Tianhai City. Although it is not clear whether they are intentional or accidental, it is inevitable that zombies will chase people's actions. Then why don't we gather all the humans in Tianhai City together to attract all the zombies to come over? At that time, all the zombie kings can be annihilated at once. And in this way, I can also verify my guess." Guess? These 2 words made everyone very curious. "Boss, what do you think?" Bian Junwu raised a faint smile at the corner of his mouth. "So far, the zombie tide in Tianhai City has only spread to surrounding cities on a small scale. Most zombies are still concentrated in the Tianhai City area. This phenomenon is very unreasonable. If the main body of the zombies is the virus that resides in their bodies, then according to the instinct of living things, they will invade farther places. After all, the number of creatures in their homeland alone is not enough for them to eat. So, why do they still stay in Tianhai City and continue to attack several major forces? Even Zhang Yi's shelter with only a few people was attacked for a long time by a zombie army." Bian Junwu's face showed a playful expression. "I really want to see if there are human factors behind this. Perhaps the zombie king was deliberately created by someone in secret. If it exists, Then we must wipe out this underground force.